Let's say that you're a fan of Darwyn Cooke's New Frontier graphic novel. What should you read next? Maybe you should read Before Watchmen Minutemen series. That's pretty good. Along with Silk Spectre, unfortunately, that's the only good part of the Before Watchmen miniseries. But what if you don't want to read his superhero work? Well, there's always Parker the Hunter. The story is pretty basic and it's been done before. A man, a criminal in this case, is betrayed by his partners and left for dead. He comes back wanting revenge, and in this case, the money owed to him. In 2009, Darwyn Cooke began adapting the Parker novel series written by Richard Stark, aka Donald E. Westlake. These are pulp noir works, and just like noir, the main character's past is mostly a mystery. We only see his past up to a point. In this case, we only get to see as far back as his last job, which was about a year ago. We learned that a bit later, however. The story actually takes place in 1962 New York City. Some guy in the car tries to pick up Parker. What follows next is Darwyn Cooke showing Parker stalking through the city, jumping the subway turnstile, getting a cup of coffee, scamming to get a fake ID that gets him a bank checkbook, which gets him a suit, a place to stay. All the while, he's pissing off everyone he meets. And what's really great about this is all this is expressed mostly wordless. After the phrase at the beginning of the book, "Go to hell and screw you," we followed the story for almost 12 pages without any dialogue. But Darwyn Cooke is a good enough writer that he can pace the story without it seeming too long or too short. And this graphic novel is only 140 pages long. Let's take a look at the characters. Most of the supporting characters only go by either the first or last names. Example, the lead character Parker. The best way to describe Parker is, as one person said in the book, a sick son of a bitch. And as the titular hunter of the title, he's intense, brutal, single-minded, calculating, deadly, passionate about only a few things that he cares about, and he's heartless to the rest of the world, even to his wife. It's amazing he lets anyone live that he runs up against in the story. As far as the other characters, there's not really that much to say about them. They're basically one note. However, Parker describes them in the book is how they truly are. Everyone's willing to betray someone else just to get ahead or just to survive. The people that pop up in the story seem to be in control of their lives, but you soon realize that someone is always above them, stringing them along. No one, with the exception of Parker in the story, is in control of their own destiny. This is proven several times by the mob, or as they call the mob in this story, the outfit or the organization. As far as the writing goes, well, I really haven't read any of Richard Stark's prose novels, so I don't know how faithful this graphic novel is to the source material. I can only go by what's in the graphic novel. The writing matches the note and tone of the pulp detective novels that I've read in the past. A good deal of the exposition is in flashbacks, and that really helps the reader figure out the parts of the story that the characters themselves don't reveal in dialogue. Also, the way the book ends makes this part of the story seem more of a prologue. As long as the reader doesn't have an issue with the story being as open-ended as it is, they should enjoy it. As far as the art, well, it's Darwyn Cooke. It has that classic 1930s, 40s Art Deco style. His style really fits the story, and he can really make the scenery look abrasive, gritty, but beautiful at the same time. Each woman in the book looks like she could be a femme fatale one moment and a damsel in distress the next. The men also at times look like they could be weak one moment and really dominant the next. I also really appreciate that he gave multiple people different body types and different faces. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. A lot of problems that even experienced artists have is giving the same characters the same face and the same body type. The only thing I will give them art-wise is basically the women, because they do look similar, let's just say that, even though they have a different face and different hairstyle. Another thing I noticed in the book was the lack of thick black borders for the panels. I've seen artists do the style that he's doing here in the past, and at times it would just run together and look like a big glob. The fact that the flow here is so good and that I could understand what was going on says a lot about the skill of Mr. Darwyn Cooke. So what's my final verdict? Well, despite the lack of deeper characterizations of the players involved, I really enjoyed the story. The writing pitch seemed excellent. The art worked with the story involved. If you've never read a black and white comic, or you don't want to read a superhero book, I'd say give this one a try. I had some minor nitpicks with this, but no book's perfect. So the only key is, do you enjoy the book enough to overlook its flaws? I do, so I give this a recommend. And until my next review, goodbye.